Langston Hughes was a Black American writer who authored a variety of literature such as poems, short stories, and plays. He was born on February 1st, 1902. His work usually focused on the hate of a racist society. His mother, Carrie Langston, was a creative woman who showed interest in poetry, and in fact, this might have influenced his love for poetry and interest for poetry. When Langston was young, his dad left for Cuba and Mexico to tend to his occupation of being a lawyer. His parents tried to make the most of themselves through their careers, his father being a lawyer and his mother earning a living outside of the field of domestic labor. Langston did not see his father again until he was 17 and was baffled by the racism that his father had developed. When Langston was in school, he was appointed class poet by his peers and was later chosen to be the editor of his yearbook his senior year. Even though he had never thought to write poetry before, he had become dedicating to fulfilling his title and ended up becoming a poet later on. His poetry journey began when he went to go see his father in Mexico, and while crossing the Mississippi River on a train, he wrote the poem, I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I've heard singing in the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. The poem highlights the connection between his ancestors and where they originated. In the beginning of the poem, he says, I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. He uses rivers from places his ancestors lived, like Egypt, New Orleans, Africa, and in the Middle East, Congo. The reader knows he is talking about his ancestors because of the mention of human blood and veins. He mentions this because a part of their blood and DNA is a part of him. And he grows deep like the rivers, meaning it branches down his ancestral tree like a rivers connect and split. Later, when the Harlem Renaissance occurred, he became one of the leading figures. With fame, though, comes criticism. Many people from the Black community argued that Langston portrayed an unattractive view of Black life. He responded to this criticism people were projecting on him by explaining that he writes about people he grew up around, and even though he was not the most fortunate growing up, does not make the people that surrounded him bad people. After high school, he enrolled in Lincoln University, and throughout his college career at this time, he wrote his first novel, Not Without Laughter. During this time, he really accepted his mission of an artist and that he was an artist. Later after college, he started writing plays and fictions. He finally settled in Harlem in 1947 and wrote fiction, poetry, drama, nonfiction, and juvenile works. In fact, he wrote a poem named Harlem. What happened to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? This poem discusses the idea of what might happen when a dream is given up on. He compares it to a series of negative things, like a dried up raisin, rotten meat, a heavy load, and he even uses the word crust when talking about a syrupy sweet. The last line, however, or does it explode, is an immensely powerful ending due to the mysterious feeling it leaves the reader with. It really makes you think, what does happen when a dream is set aside? Even though the poem never decides on a set outcome, it overviews all the negative outcomes that could happen using many similes. Dreams were important due to Langston Hughes during his life. Even during Langston's last years, he remained hopeful in his career, and even after his death, his poems are still popular and meaningful to the people of today's modern society. Even though his poems are written like he talks and are simple, they are very meaningful and powerful. This truly shows the talent he has, and he believed in chasing your dreams. One last poem about dreams, written by him, is called Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. This poem emphasizes the importance of dreams. Langston compares the death of a dream to a broken-winged bird. These correspond to both having a lack of hope and purpose. What is the point of a bird if it cannot fly, just as what is the point of a dream if it must never be fulfilled? He compares the emptiness of a dead dream to a snowy barren field. They both have a lack of excitement and purpose, and a dead dream is pointless due to the dreamer having no goal, just as a snowy barren field has no purpose as to nothing can be grown on it.